Welcome to the NCAA College Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. 75-degree cloudy afternoon in College Station, Texas. Away we go for game one of this incredible regional. Grambling is in town, the SWAC champions, getting set to battle the Texas A&M Aggies, the number 3 national seed. Bracket looks like this. The winner of this game gets the winner between Louisiana and Texas later tonight. That game taking place over on ESPN2. Well, welcome to our broadcast position. Alongside the former Major Leaguer Xavier Scruggs, I'm Roy Philpott. It's the time of year that we live for. It is here. We think we have the best regional in all the country starting right now.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt to me. College Station, it doesn't get much better than this as far as the atmosphere goes, but you got to set the tone today the right way. Play clean baseball, good pitching, great defense, good base running. It's the little things that matter today.
Oh, that's right, the little things to win that championship. Let's start with the SWAC champions first. Grambling State, the Tigers, incredible run in Atlanta led by Cam Buford.
Yeah, I got a chance to see him earlier this season, and it's all about the power for him, the slug, driving the baseball to right center and left center. Does a great job of letting the ball travel and drives in the base runners as well with runners in scoring position. He's the catalyst in the middle of the order for this Grambling team.
Braden Montgomery leads the charge for the fighting Texas Aggies, the transfer from Stanford.
Yeah, he'll be the most talented player you'll see on the field in this regional. Right-handed, left-handed swing, doesn't matter. Both of them have a lot of power, has all 5 tools, and shows them off on an everyday basis. Keep your eye on him because he's going to do something special in this regional for sure.
Number 3 national seed, Texas A&M Aggies on display up first here in the Bryan College Station Regional when we come back. Olson Field at Bluebell Park already rocking. Game 1 of the Bryan College Station Regional. Xavier Scruggs, Roy Philpott, Grambling, and Texas A&M as we get you set for first pitch. Grambling State Tigers, the SWAC champions. 1 through 9, Borum, Walker, and the SWAC tournament MVP, Cam Buford, will lead things off for head coach Davin Pierre in his second full season, leading the charge there for Grambling State in Grambling, Louisiana. Tanner Jones gets the start on the mound, normally out of the bullpen later in the season, now healthy. Certainly a significant piece to head coach Jim Schlossenagel's rotation entering postseason play. And X, let's start here too with the weather. 75 degrees, slight breeze out of the south-southeast at about 15 miles an hour. I thought it was going to be 105 today. It is beautiful to start this regional.
Yeah, it's super nice. I mean, you couldn't ask for much better than this as far as the weather goes. And the atmosphere as far as the fans and everybody have already packed this stadium now. All that rain we had earlier today seems way out of the way.
Love it when you talk weather. Tanner Jones on the mound for the fighting Texas Aggies. The junior from Thorsby, Alabama, and a transfer from Jacksonville State.
Yeah, you're going to see that fastball 45% of the time. You're going to sit around 94, 95. Does a good job of using the cutter, the slider, and the curveball, but the changeup is a pitch that he has a lot of success with recently. Gets some arm side action. You'll see it dive down into the righties and down and away to the lefties. The command will be very important for him, that fastball location, limit the walks in a major way, and get that weak contact early. Use the defense, Roy. That's going to be his keys to success.
I like your meticulous nature in winning a championship. The little things this time of year are what add up in an atmosphere like this, with Texas and Louisiana also a part of this Bryan College Station Regional. Whoever advances, a lot of things got to go well, got to go right at a high level for you this weekend.
Yeah, you just think about getting yourself to this point. You don't want those little things, the things that you worked on so long to be good at, to end up costing you games. So you set the tone early, you go out there, you do what you need to do offensively, defensively, and good things will happen.
Jim Schlossnagel, year number 3. 5 career appearances in the Men's College World Series in Omaha. National Coach of the Year 2 times in his storied career. And he has very big plans for this program moving forward. Davin Pierre, year number 2, nearly 15 seasons overall with the Grambling State Tigers. Entertaining conversation with him yesterday. Much to talk about with this team as it proved victorious in Atlanta at the SWAC tournament just 1 weekend ago. Coach Pierre runs over towards third base. Climbing in the box for the first time, Tiger Borom. One of 6 Grambling hitters, averaging over .315 this season. Beautiful afternoon for college baseball underway through the middle for a base hit. Good start for the Tigers.
And it's that quick, Roy. You just attack early. As a hitter, I'm looking for something in the middle. I'm not waiting around. I use the middle of the field, hit it right back where it came from. You get your first base runner and try to quiet the crowd early here at College Station.
Borom a threat to steal, 17 stolen bases this season in 18 attempts. And a good opportunity for Kyle Walker. First team all SWAC playing at second base for the Tigers. Off speed and out of the zone, it's 1-0. Walker, a sophomore from New Orleans. Currently riding a 15-game on-base streak. He'll set up very back of that batter's box.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll see guys do that, just trying to see the ball as long as possible, right? Especially when a guy has a little velocity, something maybe you haven't been used to seeing. Try to get back and let that ball travel.
Infield a double play depth. Walker an inside-out swing that is sent foul. Davin Pierre talking with us yesterday and this morning, suggesting let's get this game one into the 6th inning, into the 7th. Have it be a 1-run affair, and let's apply the pressure to the Aggies at that point. That's our goal. And he goes, we like our chances if we can just avoid giving up that big inning on the mound. He likes their offense and what they bring to the table here in Aggie land. Two and two. Walker started his career at Louisiana Tech. 2 hits in that championship comeback win against Jackson State. You mentioned the rain that pushed through the area earlier this morning. It was loud. Localized flooding in some spots. It was coming down pretty hard, but the good news is the rest of the day looks pretty good. Served into right center field. That will get down, and back-to-back hits for Grambling to start things off here at Olson Field at Bluebell Park.
And Kyle Walker extends that on-base streak that you were talking about earlier. Just a really good at-bat, allowing himself to get deep in the count. And I feel like this is what Grambling is going to have to do, is work some really good at-bats in this game. Try to wear down these Texas A&M pitchers, but 2 straight hits allows them to feel a little bit more comfort early on in this game.
And you got plenty of speed on the base paths. A combined 31 stolen bags between the two. Sent a mile high down the right field line, and near the berm, in fact, right in the heart of it. Cameron Buford, SWAC tournament MVP. Featured him in our open. The numbers only tell part of the story. The hard-hitting third baseman. Borom at second. Walker at first. Ball and a strike. Boy, hard to beat this setting. You got Kyle Field right there on the opposite side of the outfield wall. Packed house, 1 and 2. 102,000 fans go to watch the Aggies play there in the fall. New head coach Mike Elko. Big moment for Tanner Jones. Off speed, just missed. Full count. 94-mile-an-hour heater out of the zone.
You see a good approach already being taken. Walker, Buford, just laying off of some tough pitches.
Good eyes so far, and Buford swings right through it. First strikeout for Jones, and a big first out for the Aggies.
When in doubt, go back to the heater. Uses that fastball in the inner half of the plate. Had kind of stayed away from Buford, and then attacks him in. 3-2 count, gets him to swing right under it, right through it. It's a nice pitch right there.
Jones banged up in the early part of the season. Now healthy and trying to come on strong as of late. Fouled straight back by Inman, Ashton Inman. Starting at first base, the junior from Mansfield, Texas. Top 5 in Coach Pierre's batting order, hitting over 315, including Ashton Inman. Inside at 93. Home plate umpire Greg Street calling balls and strikes in game 1 here in Bryan College Station. Next, what do you see so far from Jones, the heater we've spotted in the mid-90s?
Yeah, he's doing a good job, at least using that pitch to attack, using it up in the zone. And obviously the two guys that got on early haven't seen to phase him at this point right after Buford, even though he got deep in the count.
3-1. And you wonder how aggressive Davin Pierre will be. The two speedsters standing at first and second now, a hitter's count at 3-1. Swung on and hit weakly towards first. Covering will be Jones for out number 2. A productive out with Grambling now having 2 base runners in scoring position. And it all comes down to Julian Murphy. So Borum now at third. Walker at second. Murphy hitting a robust 345. Laser beam sent fouling out of play. Well, how big of a moment is this potentially for the Tigers? First couple of ABs and a chance to plate some runs as the underdog here in College Station. Nothing in 2, and now Jones a strike away.
Yeah, you see Jones doing a better job of locating that fastball now over the past couple of batters, getting ahead in the count. Now he can expand the zone here, 0-2, try to get a swing or a chase. A lot of times you'll go 0-2 up top with the fastball, try to change the eye level of the hitter, then go back down, maybe down and away with the slider. Would expect to see a wrinkle here.
Chopped over to second. Chestnut fields and fires for out number 3. Grambling State strands a pair. A nice play at second for Chestnut.
Yeah, nice job of Chestnut being able to come, charge this ball quickly, knew how much time he had. Perfect throw to first. Now it's their turn to hit.
Home half of the first coming up back at the Bryan College Station Regional. Grambling strands a couple of leadoff hits top half of the first. We take a look at the fighting Texas Aggies batting order. Grahovac, Laviolette, Montgomery have combined to hit 75 home runs this season, X. And boy, this lineup from top to bottom, it cooled down late in the regular season. Can be lethal if they catch fire again.
Yeah, and they recognize that they could do a lot better job of having some better at-bats, staying away from, you know, swinging at pitches outside of the zone and being more demanding as far as understanding what they want in the middle. they've got to do that, and it really starts with that guy right there on the screen, Braden Montgomery.
Stanford transfer has been electric at times this year. Mason Martinez gets the start on the bump for Grambling State. The senior from Amarillo, Texas, can beat you in a number of different ways.
Yeah, this is a guy that when you talk about being able to go out there and give your team length, he's been able to do it every single time. You'll see a fastball around 88 miles an hour, but it'll be that slider and that changeup and curve that he uses for secondary that he has to really command today. Don't miss in the middle with Texas A&M. They will make you pay.
Top 3 hitters. We will see 1, 2, and 3. Each hit more than 21 homers, 75 total. Grahovac will lead things off, SEC Freshman of the Year. Really not much he can't do. Head coach Jim Schlossnagle. 2 quick balls from Martinez. You see Grahovac's numbers. How much do nerves play a factor in a start like this, really, for both sides? Postseason finally here. Both teams haven't played in about a week. For A&M, it's been a little longer than that.
Yeah, you'll never really admit it as a player, but definitely there's anxiousness, nervousness. You know, it's probably the first time that you'll see a guy like Mason Martinez in this type of position and with this type of atmosphere. So you got to find a way to calm those nerves down and just get back to throwing strikes.
Leadoff walk issued to Gavin Grahovac. Martinez averaging less than 3 walks per 9 innings this year. Jace Laviolette, the sophomore from Katy, riding a 15-game on-base streak coming into the start of this regional. Strike 1 to Jace. Braden Montgomery moves into the on-deck circle. Team high 28 homers this season. First team All-SEC. Good take there will even the count.
Yeah, and a lot of times when you're facing this Texas A&M team, you almost as a pitcher feel like you have to be perfect just because of a guy like Laviolette who can drive the baseball, slugging almost 800. You cannot make those mistakes up in the zone, especially to him.
Martinez 12-2 on the season through 17 innings in that SWAC tournament last weekend in Atlanta. Imperative for the Tigers to get off to a good start. Runner goes, and the throw inside and low, and a stolen base for Grahovac. Second of the season, just his 3rd attempt.
Well, this is what you can do is you can start to put pressure on a pitcher when he's just trying to throw strikes, right? He's just trying to locate. You can take a good lead and get a good jump. He's got the speed, obviously, but there was no chance on that throw. And now you're putting pressure on the opposing defense, which is what Texas A&M is looking to do early here.
Martinez delivers the 2-1. Has not established that outside corner just yet. Will not get that call from home plate umpire Greg Street. Tenth pitch from Martinez. Off speed and out in front was Laviolette.
And for Martinez, it's just about trying to repeat your delivery now, right? Finding out that release point, just getting back to just playing catch.
Tap weekly foul. Aggies with 44 wins this season. That's the most since 1999. And Jim Schlossnagle. Much to talk about this weekend. An article that came out on ESPN yesterday about a new stadium potentially here in College Station. Maybe doubling the capacity here at Olsen Field, Bluebell Park. Full count, out of the zone, and back-to-back walks issued by Mason Martinez. Well, the discipline at the plate so far for the Aggies has been exactly what our head ball coach wanted to see to start this regional.
And you can't blame Mason Martinez for really trying to paint the corner. He's trying to stay away from the middle, especially on the middle inner half. He's got to try to expand against these Texas A&M hitters. But now that he sees the zone, he's going to have to try to approach it a different way, maybe use a little bit more off speed. Going to be trying to look for a ground ball here, try to see if he can induce a double play.
Now, Grambling had its first 2 hitters aboard in the top of the first, unable to score. Mason Martinez would love to duplicate that feat here in the bottom half of the inning. And here's where you have to be careful. Braden Montgomery led the SEC in RBIs, 7th in the country, with 80 driven in this year. His first and only season in College Station after arriving from Stanford. It's moments like this, reasons why he decided to transfer into the SEC.
Yeah, and I got a chance to talk to him right before the game, and he was talking about, understanding that he's gone through some failure over these past couple of weeks and wants to use this as a fresh start. Really erase everything that's happened over the past couple of weeks and just get back to doing what he does well.
How easy or difficult is that to do, to wipe the slate clean, so to speak, internally?
Yeah, you can use a regional to do that, obviously, because it's a heightened time in baseball. But it's never easy to just forget about what has gone on, right? You're building off of a certain momentum, but he's such an established player that I think he has the ability mentally to do so.
0-2. Martinez in search of his first out on pitch 15. Marcus Smiley, the catcher, trying to come in through the back door. That count will even up at 2-2. Grambling infield a double play depth after the second baseman Kyle Walker drifted back into the outfield grass. It's Laviolette. Driven, stopped by Walker. The force at second, and then getting down to first in time, hustling, was Montgomery. How about that play? He just stabbed it out of the air. And they may challenge that call at second, or over at first, rather.
I mean, but look at Walker just get to this ball range to his left or his right and be able to make that dive at the perfect time with the perfect feed to second base as well.
And they're going to call interference on the runner. And let's see. Didn't slide going into second. And so 2 outs. And Grahovac now standing at second base. So he never slid going in to second base. And that play by Walker looming extremely large now as Jackson Appel digs in for the first time. Well, Martinez given new life with that call.
Yeah, because even if it's a normal double play, you still get Grahovac advancing to third, but now he's got to stay at second base. Changes the whole situation.
So instead of Montgomery reaching on the fielder's choice, Runners at first and third. Now a runner at second with 2 away. One interesting start here in this regional. The play like that.
Yeah, I'm really surprised Laviolette didn't slide as well, because it's just normal double play. You normally choose to slide in that sense. Also because you want to protect yourself. You don't want to get hit by the baseball.
Just kind of crouched down as he got closer to the bag. 0-2 the count to Appel, the senior catcher. He'll stay alive.
Yeah, I wanted to bring back this no sliding, because normally just as a base runner, just to protect yourself, you're going to slide in that situation. Also, you want to try to make the defender have to move or change his angle as he's coming across the bag.
Oh, 2 from Martinez. So again, instead of first and third with just 1 away. Runner at second and 2 outs. After back-to-back walks issued to Grahovac and Laviolette. Cut on and miss, and Martinez battles back to retire the side. Aggies strand a runner at second. We are scoreless through 1 in Bryan College Station. Interesting start. Olsen Field at Bluebell Park here in the Bryan College Station Regional. Xavier Scruggs, Roy Philpott, scoreless game, top of the second. Grambling this year, the SWAC tournament champions. They won 6 out of 8 regular season series in SWAC play, and now making their first appearance in the NCAA tournament since 2010. 3rd overall. First for head coach Davin Pierre. We asked him yesterday, Coach, are you nervous? Is the team nervous? He said, heck no. We were ready for this. We were built for this, and we earned this. Well, both teams probably feel like they left a little something on the table in that first inning. If you're scoring at home, Braden Montgomery up to bat. It'll be scored as a 4-6-3 double play. The interference at second with Laviolette failing to slide in. Pell strikes out to end the threat. Trevor Hatton leads things off for the Tigers. Sun starting to peek through the clouds a little bit. Breeze is picked up towards right field at 15 miles an hour. Beautiful day, X, for baseball. I mean, it is absolutely spectacular.
You would never know it about 7, 8 o'clock this morning.
Is it just me, or is the thunder louder in Texas?
Everything bigger, louder, all that.
Bigger, louder, stronger, faster. Every box was checked with the storms that rolled through. Heard it was pretty rough in Dallas. Hopefully everybody up that way is okay this afternoon. Cut on and miss. Second strikeout for Tanner Jones, who now has sent down 4 straight.
Yeah, and that looked like the little cutter that he'll use every now and then to get hitters off that fastball. Kind of cuts away from the right-handed hitter. Perfectly placed. The location is amazing. And a nice spotted pitch right there from Tanner Jones.
Here's the catcher, to Marcus Smiley. Platoon 2 players at that spot this weekend. We talked about nerves earlier. What was the most nervous moment you remember playing in the bigs or at UNLV? Was there a sequence that stood out, and how did you handle it?
Yeah, I think for me, facing a team that Coach Jim Schlossnagle was with before, TCU. When I was at UNLV, we faced TCU in the Mountain West, and I faced Arrieta, Jake Arrieta, former Cy Young winner in our conference championship. And
lined into right field. That'll get down for a hit. A 1-out single for Smiley. Trots in at first.
A lot of times you'll see guys that are just overpowering in college. I faced Steven Strasburg while he was at San Diego State as well, and a lot of times you'll feel like, okay, if I'm the guy in the middle of the order, like, I got to take care of business because I set the tone for a lot of the other guys. If I'm not hitting, then they're going to have a tough time hitting. So you just feel pressure a lot of times, especially in these regionals, in the conference tournaments. But it's just another game. You have to look at it as another at-bat, another game, another pitch.
Jose Vargas takes inside and low. Senior from Charlotte, North Carolina. Arrieta, man, I mean, he stuff was straight filth in college.
Yes.
And in the bigs. Ripped into right field for a hit. Smiley had to wait on it. A big turn at second. Montgomery up with it quickly in right field, and Grambling back in business with runners at the corners and just one away.
Yeah, just a really good swing here from Vargas. A pitch on the inner half of the plate, and he's able to drive it right past first base there. And then a nice job of Smiley getting himself first to third, seeing the ball behind him immediately. Got themselves another guy in scoring position here. Less than 2 outs. Makes the job much easier for the hitter.
Smiley at third, Vargas at first. Infield pinches in slightly. And now back in double play position. Thomas bunts it right back to the mound. And a good clean play by Jones. Advancing to second will be Vargas. So 2 in scoring position again for Grambling. And Thomas unable to squeeze the runner from third.
Yeah, the only thing that's the issue here is Thomas, you're trying to get this ball, either the third baseman to try to come and field this ball or the first baseman. Obviously, the pitcher, Tanner Jones, a really good job of bouncing off the mound, very athletic there, but you're trying to make that third baseman field that ball. That way your base runner on third can decide to go home.
Oh, and they picked him off at third. They picked him off at third. Smiley had drifted too far down the line. Jones sent it over to Grahovac to retire the side. A sneaky play by the Aggies.
Yeah, and Grahovac, that's a play that they put on. He's over there at third base. He's really close. Shouldn't have surprised the runner too much, but just not enough time to get back. A perfect tag. And took him to the dugouts.
Missed opportunities for Grambling. The Tigers with 4 hits through 2 frames, but got caught looking there at the end, the top of the second. DeMarcus Smiley. What happens here, X?
Yeah, this is just a timing play. A really nice job for Texas A&M, but also this is a situation where Coach Pierre is probably either telling him to get back or maybe he got a little bit caught off guard at the last second too. And the base runner there and Smiley just too late, and you could tell he's looking at Coach like, man, we messed that one up right there. Just because they had an opportunity there with the runner on third, you know, a pass ball, scores a run, first run of the game, you don't want to be thrown out on the bases, especially during this time.
All right, so in 3 frames, we've had 1 inning basically in on an interference call at second base. 4-6-3 double play. That's how it was officially scored. Laviolette failing to get down on the slide. Another frame ends pickoff play at third. Here's Ted Burton. That's my way of saying it's going to be like that this weekend. Get your popcorn ready. By the way, Texas is in town and Louisiana is here. 2 out of the zone to Burton. Xavier Scruggs, Roy Philpott, so glad you could join us. Mother Nature cooperating suddenly. Hopefully that trend continues. Credit Mason Martinez. He did not get off to a great start with those 2 walks. Just trying to settle in here. Breaking ball in the outer half.
And to me, those are the pitches that are going to be most important for him to prioritize, right? The off speed, the secondary stuff. If he's throwing strikes with that, then he's going to have a lot of success.
Chopped over to third, under the glove of Buford into left field. Digging for second is Burton. Throw comes in late.
And you see him kind of get on top of this sinker. And Buford over there at third base. Looks like he kind of maybe a misstep to get to that baseball, and one of those ones that's tough kind of in between whether or not to stay in front or try to backhand. Maybe a little late on the decision. Ends up being a double down third base line.
12th double this season for Burton. Ags in business. Here's Hayden's shot. Graduate student takes low and inside for ball one. Newport Beach, California originally. It's one of the top transfers according to D1 Baseball. Coming in from Columbia. Ranked in the top 100. Strike one.
Looks like he might be earning that outside a little bit more now this inning.
Right, you got to establish something, and then you start working your way inch by inch off the plate. Serve foul, it's 1-2.
And also, Mason Martinez knows that he's trying to use the outer half of the plate because as a hitter in this situation, especially as a lefty, you're trying to pull something, right? Trying to move the runner at least with no outs, get yourself a runner on third with less than 2. He's trying to pull something. Mason Martinez trying to go away. He might try to bust him in here.
And Walker playing back at that outfield depth again at second base, about 5 paces deep on the grass. Kyle Walker. This crowd just settling in. Olsen Field at Bluebell Park. Shot hitting .323 off the glove of the pitcher Martinez. Everybody's safe. Vargas came away with it. By that time, shot was already touching the bag at first.
Yeah, you see the reaction of Martinez here. He's trying to field that just off his glove. A nice job of Burton by going off with this pitch, knowing he's got the chance to get to third. Good base running all around.
Ali Camarillo, the hitter. Junior from Cali. Aggies trying to strike first after their first 2 hits to start things off in the home half of the second. Martinez snaps across a strike. Davenpierre told us so many different ways yesterday. We have to avoid the big inning. We have to. If we do, I like our chances. Boy, that may have hit him. He swung right through it. And he hit the dirt in the process and will take a moment to collect himself. Ali was aggressive with that approach.
I think it might have been a changeup here with a lot of run. Yeah, it was. As a hitter, you're trying to see something up, be able to drive something to the outfield, but that pitch just kept running in on him. A little overly aggressive there on that pitch, but definitely shaken up.
Working the right side of that foot, stretching out the right leg in the process. Yeah, it just kept running inside, and he had already committed to swing. Transfer from CSUN, was a member of the All-Big West team out west. Second in that conference in batting average at one point at .371 before coming to Aggie land. Making sure everything's working in its proper order. Let's see if this becomes an early moment.
If I'm Mason Martinez, I might go back to that same pitch just because obviously you could tell Camarillo didn't quite pick it up that well.
Will slowly climb back in the box. Big time opportunity here. Ball one. But now blowing in from center field. Just for a moment. Starting to warm up just a touch after a cool morning. Sent a text to Mike Rooney with squeeze play. Everybody's getting fired up for that once again. College baseball's postseason. Chilly start here in College Station, Runes. Low to mid 70s for first pitch. Swatted into left field. Texas A&M out in front for the first time. Stomping home plate is Ted Burton. Advancing to second is shot. A single and an RBI for Camarillo.
Well, a great adjustment from Camarillo. Just understanding, okay, I'm probably going to get some off speed. You see the changeup in a better location, not coming at him this time, but being able to drive something to left field. Just perfectly placed, hit hard, drives in the first run of the game.
Bubbles are flying. Aggies are cheering. And a good start for the home team, the number 3 national seed. Sorrell digs in. And Martinez settles low. Freshman from Highland Village, Texas, 6'3", 205, 286 this year. And a member of that all-SEC freshman team. Imagine in the years to come, he will start to inch his way up Coach Schlossnagel's batting order.
It's a fine line for Grambling pitcher Mason Miller because you want to try to nibble a little bit. You want to try to stay off the middle of the plate, but at the same time, you also want to be efficient, right? You want to try to get weak contact. You want to try to attack early. But with these hitters, they're so disciplined for Texas A&M.
Crowd becomes a factor here in a 3-0 count. Still nobody out. The ball chant was being queued up. Sorrell awaits the 3-1, and now the count runs full. Sorrell comes from a family ball players on the diamond. Payoff pitch from Martinez is fouled straight back. His father Greg was a 37th round pick back in the day, coming out of high school in the 1990 MLB draft. It's a lot of rounds in the draft.
Not as much nowadays.
And they cut it down. Important moment for Martinez. Mason with the payoff runners go. Foul back and out of play. Well, that was the big topic of conversation with Coach Schloss. He said at the end of the regular season, we were swinging at balls out of the zone. Swing and chase rates were infinitely higher than what it was previous 10 to 12 weeks of the regular season. That's been a focal point the last week or so in practice after some time off. Talk with coach coming up in our next inning. A laser shot down the right field line and pulled foul. Well, that may have hit the oncoming traffic, a pickup truck going about 50 miles an hour. And that ball was chasing it down. And Schloss out of the dugout. Talking with home plate umpire Greg Street. He was upset about something. The truck was probably going 30 miles an hour, not 50, but you get the point. Appears to have been a door open near the corner of the right field over there. Let's do it all over again. The 3-2 Martinez. What a battle.
To your point about what Coach Schlossnagel was talking about during our meeting, just they have to figure out a better job of staying within themselves, right? Sometimes as hitters, you start to press a little bit, and he talked about just staying away from expanding the zone as a hitter. You're looking one pitch, one spot, and not getting off of that. You're seeing a great at-bat right here from Sorrell. Now that's the battle for Martinez, right? Just trying to figure out a pitch to go to here with 2 strikes to kind of put somebody away.
Seen 11 pitches so far with this next toss. How many times do you see the hitter make the pitcher pay in a sequence like this? Up foul. How frustrating is it for a pitcher? You've thrown 11 to the same guy and you can't get him out.
Well, not only that, you think it's full count here, right? So if a ball happens to get off the plate a little bit, he does a good job of taking it, then you have a bases loaded situation. So you're definitely trying to attack the zone here and command all of your pitches.
Shot at first, Camarillo at first rather, and now Schott trots to third. Bases loaded. Third walk issued by Martinez. And an enormous moment coming up for the Aggies. Bases loaded for the fighting Texas Aggies. Shot at third, Camarillo at second. And Caden Sorrell standing at first base. Nobody out in the home half of the second for Travis Chestnut. And the senior now making his 26th consecutive start at second base. After coming off the bench the first half of this season. What a moment, 287 hitter. And Martinez out of the zone to start again. Crowd getting louder. 2-1. Mason Martinez comes back. And he's ready to fire again. Chestnut, the transfer from Temple College. 2-2.
Martinez already at 53 pitches, just trying to figure out a way to stay consistent in the zone. Let the defense work, right? Try to see if you can get out of this inning with maximizing damage.
Off the dirt towards the backstop. Another run scores for the Aggies. Shot slides in safely. Camarillo now at third. And Sorrell at second on the wild pitch.
Nice job of shot reading the pass ball here. Did a very good job of seeing it get away from Smiley. Actually stopped for a second, but then realized it was further off, and he did a good job of being able to get to home.
Full count pitch again from Martinez. Nowhere close to the backstop. Another run will score. And the Aggies with runners at first and third on the walk issue to Chestnut. And he's going to race into second. Well, heads up base running by the number 9 hitter, Travis Chestnut.
And you see this is the first one that they scored on the wild pitch, and here you go with the second one on ball 4. Just way away from the plate. And as soon as Mason Martinez gets this ball back, nobody calls time or anything. A nice job of advancing to second base there by Chestnut.
Gives us a moment to remind you the NCAA Regionals coverage for all 16 sites continues tomorrow on ESPN Plus, the ESPN app. For more information, visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. Game 1, postseason play for the number 3 national seed Aggies. It's early, but plays like that give you an indication of their focus, of their aggressiveness, and it is a clean start in the postseason compared to what happened in Hoover where they went 2 in barbecue.
Well, as a player too, you start to feel the momentum of the game, right? You start to understand, okay, we're in a situation where we can take some chances, we can be the aggressor, and we can put some pressure on the opposing team. And just a really nice job of not only base running, but understanding the situation and being able to advance. And now you got another couple runners in scoring position with no outs. You make the job easier for the hitter. We'll see if the infield stays in or if they stay back here in this second inning.
Back to the top of the order, second AB for Grahovac, SEC Freshman of the Year. Sorrell and Chestnut in scoring position. Martinez low for ball 1.
And as a Texas A&M hitter, I know I can be super selective, right? Because Martinez has kind of not been commanding his fastball in the zone as consistent as he wants to. So I can be selective, and if I let a pitch go, I let a pitch go.
Bats cooled off for the Aggies. The last couple of weeks of the regular season, they did squeeze in a series victory against Arkansas that kind of gets lost in the shuffle late. Schloss reminded us of that yesterday. It really goes back to that LSU series early May. Things changed, and then the SEC tournament maybe hammered home the idea that the bats had cooled off. You beat Arkansas. Run rule victory late. 12th man walks it off late. Pretty special. Grahovac strikes out. It'll be the second strikeout for Martinez. Just out number 1 here in the second inning.
Yeah, nice job of Martinez at least expanding the zone here with that changeup. You see a turnover. Just a tough pitch to pick up right there.
But Smiley holding on to that too.
Yeah.
Chase Laviolette. First pitch strike for Martinez. Rhythmic pitcher so far. When he's on, he's been on. When he hasn't, it's been a struggle. Served to second. Walker fields and fires. It'll score a run and a nice play by Inman at first. Aggies tack on another. It's 4-0.
We'll give credit to Laviolette understanding the situation of the game. All I got to do is put something on the ground past the pitcher with the infield back, and I offer us another run. It's a very quality at bat right there.
Bubbles are flying into our broadcast booth here. Blown out after every Aggie run. It's been an active second inning. Off speed to Braden Montgomery. 0-1. Bubbles are underrated, I think. 2 young daughters. Had a lot of bubbles in the house. A number of years. I mean, they're easy. They're not expensive.
Yeah, they're harmless, right?
They're I mean, unless one gets in your eye. If it pops in your eye and the soap gets in there, that would be tough. It's one of the cool traditions here at Texas A&M. You got the bubble gun. Just shoots them out. I remember the first time I saw that, we were growing up, we didn't have that. I didn't have that. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, somebody actually has a pineapple bubble machine that I actually have at home with my kids. We use that a lot.
And how fun is that? I mean, it's fun, right?
Yeah, they love it.
Of course they do. Your kids are younger than mine, so they really love it. For my kids, it's a little bit of a different story.
Oh, there's the pineapple bubble. See, that's the one I got.
How does that work?
It's just, you just fill it up with the bubbles underneath and it does its own thing. Like, you don't even have to press anything.
It's an automatic bubble dispenser.
Yeah. Yes.
It's got to be expensive. Good catch by our crew. Into left field. Montgomery aboard. And with 2 outs, the Aggies are not done yet here in the second.
Well, talking to Montgomery before the game, mentioned how it just wants to be a fresh start, right? And I think these are the types of swings you take when you're not trying to do a whole lot, especially with 2 strikes. Let me see the ball get deep. You see him do a nice job staying on the backside, use the whole field, and hits a rope to left field. That's how you stay on the baseball. Those are the swings you want to take coming into a regional like this, especially after struggling a little bit the last couple of weeks.
5th run of the frame. Chestnut comes home. Think about his aggressive nature on the base paths. Another pitch to the backstop. Montgomery takes second.
And Roy, you got to think about the pressure that's on Montgomery, right? Already a guy that's looked at being a top 5 draft pick this year, knows that if he wants to go far with this team, he's got to produce in the middle of this order, coming off of a pretty tough slump. That's the swing I want to be taking.
Between the wickets of Smiley, he'll retrieve it quickly. Martinez already 3 wild pitches today. That's kind of what we're talking about. The bat's cooling down. 157 during that 12-game skid, if you will. Aggies only won 5 of those 12 contests.
And I covered quite a bit of his games at Stanford, and seeing this year how he started, really good plate discipline, taking his walks, did a nice job of being able to stay away from the strikeout. And lately it's just a little bit of chasing, trying to find it. Sometimes it can be mental a little bit. But when I talk about those are the swings you want to take, those are swings in the cage when you're working off the tee, when you're working on flips, you're trying to let the ball travel. You're not trying to take it to the pull side. And that helps you stay on off speed as well.
5-run second inning so far. Jackson Appel. Throw back to second. Karams into center field. That'll put Montgomery at third base.
Roy, you just don't want to give too many more opportunities to this Texas A&M team, right? I see them being aggressive as far as Grambling, trying to, catch somebody off guard, but maybe trying to do a little bit too much right now and just focus on getting the hitter, trying to get out of this inning.
E6 will put Montgomery at third. 4-pitch walk issued to Appel. And the ball chant alive and well for the next hitter, Ted Burton. Runner goes. It'll be cut off by Vargas at short to prevent the run from scoring with Braden Montgomery. Every Aggie has already reached safely here in the bottom of the second. And the 13th stolen base of the season for Jackson Appel, the catcher. Talk about being an athlete. What'd you tell me last week? Pitchers are athletes too, catchers have speed too.
Did I say that?
I may have been dreaming. I forget what day of the week it is this time of year sometimes. I mean, you guys have played in the field. There's not a lot of respect for pitchers at times, it seems, in terms of their athleticism.
Right. Because they aren't normally athletic.
There we go. That's what I was waiting for. 2-1.
It just seems like Martinez keeps getting behind hitters too easily. And you talked about doing a good job in 114 innings pitched, not having walked as many guys. And today it's 5 walks. It's tough really for him to get ahead if he's not throwing strikes.
Big cut by Burton. Send it straight back. Aggies have officially batted around as Jim Schlossnagel joins us moments from now. It's Burton to let off this inning. The double smashed into left field. When the sun started to peek out right as Texas A&M started to attack at the plate. And the 2-2 into right center field. That's going to score 2 more. 2 hits in the inning for Ted Burton. It's 7-0 Texas A&M.
I mean, Burton's ability to just stay on a pitch. Nice job with his changeup here. He's in a good position to hit, head down on the baseball. Use the backside to get through it, firm front side. And you get a ball in that right center gap. Being able to plate a couple more runs. You have to love the plate, the approach at the plate right now for Texas A&M. Not expanding their zone, being smart, and they've knocked Mason Martinez out of his game now.
Davin Pierre out of the dugout. A pitching change will be made. Mason Martinez sees his afternoon come to a close. 7-0 Aggies. Senior right-hander Javier Martinez out of the Grambling State bullpen on in relief of Mason Martinez, who just left moments ago.
Yeah, Javier, fastball, slider, changeup. Big thing for him is just going to be coming in throwing strikes, right? Giving your defense a chance to work. See if you can help get your boys into the dugout so they can get the bats going.
Grambling has already recorded 4 hits, 2 in the first 2 innings. Stranded a couple, had some opportunities, and then Mason Martinez out of the zone, nearly 60 pitches in this second inning, and the Aggies have made him pay. So the second plate appearance for Hayden Schott in the second inning with Burton over at first base. Single and scored. And just finding the zone, X, would be a really good way to try to generate some mojo your direction again.
Yeah, you're trying to build some type of momentum that can take you back into this dugout and keep you in this game, right?
Runner goes, hit and run as that one is fouled back from shot.
And that's the thing, too, is Texas A&M still going to be aggressive. They smell blood in the water. They're going to continue to push the issue. Still try to steal bases, take the extra base. That's important to do.
Runner goes again. Cut on and miss for the strikeout. Javier Martinez comes in out of the bullpen, locks him down, but the Aggies played 7 and lead at 7-0, 2 innings in the books. Back here at the Bryan College Station Regional, 7-0. Texas A&M, the number 3 national seed, leading Grambling with Xavier Scruggs. I'm Roy Philpott. Head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies, Jim Schlossnagle, joins us right now. Coach, a great time to have you on board our broadcast. 7 runs just scored. What's the approach, and what are you telling your guys down in the dugout after that?
I mean, we have to stay disciplined. I think the key to the whole game was, offensively for us, is just not swinging early in the counts, trying to. Both Martinez have been good pitchers for him, but they've pitched a lot lately and wanted to make him be out there in the sun for a little bit. And I think when they're flipping their breaking balls in there and change ups, if your ego gets to you and you want to hack, man, they're going to get you out early. So we've done a good job of that so far. But Tanner's been getting knocked around. He's got to get a breaking ball going because these guys are on the fastball. This is a big at bat right here.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Tanner, Coach. Obviously, he's got to mix in the secondary stuff. What's important for him when you talk about having success and being able to give you some length in this game?
He's got to get the off-speed pitches going. He just has to because right now they're all over his fastball. The couple little cutter, slider pitches he's left up. And in order to, there you go, a little breaking ball to flip it in there. It's close, but at least it gets on their mind a little bit.
Right.
But he has to mix his pitches if he wants to be out there for a while because they've been on him.
Coach, appreciate the time.
Right.
Best of luck rest of the way.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, gig him.
Jim Schlossnagle, year number 3. Trying to get the Aggies back to the College World Series. We would say that he's got a pretty good chance this year, but a lot of work to do this weekend. A good start today. Back to the top of the order, Tiger Boron. 1-2 from Jones. I mean, the low-hanging fruit, the easy question to ask you, X, is just if you're Tanner Jones, you're firing strikes, right? Nothing out of the zone and making sure that you're not doing anything to give them a chance to attempt to come back, right?
Yeah, Coach Schlossnagle was just talking about keeping guys off balance, right? Using the fastball up in the zone just like right there, but also when he's going to the secondary stuff, make sure he's throwing it for strikes and staying ahead so he can expand the zone. It's a nice job right there, attacking right after a big inning. When you come out and attack like that, then you find yourself having more success than not.
Third strikeout for Jones. Kyle Walker, the second baseman. Sets up in the back of that box again. Hammers this one straight up in the air. And a pop-up towards shallow left center. Camarillo, crowd number 2. Gavin Pierre joins us coming up next. We'll get his thoughts on Grambling's season. Incredible run at the SWAC tournament in Atlanta. And the one thing he wanted to avoid was the issue in that last inning. Crooked number went up. Tournament MVP, Cam Buford. 45 home runs in his Grambling career. That is the top mark all time for Grambling State baseball. Tigers already with 4 hits, 2 in each of the first 2 innings. First team all conference was Buford this year. Mentioned the MVP, the 45 homers. Love to see the guys that grow up, that made the Little League World Series on the biggest stage at an early age, and then they go on to do great things in college and in the bigs.
Well, that's where it all starts, right? When you're out there playing Little League, you're playing with your boys out there, just learning the game. And he talked about being on a big stage during their press conference at the Little League World Series and having that opportunity, and how he felt like that was going to help him here, knowing that there's quite the atmosphere here at College Station.
Now Jones overcooks the heater. Second 3-ball count, full count rather. For that 6'3" frame. Shade under 200 pounds, low and away. And the first walk issued by Tanner Jones. That'll extend the third inning for Grambling. The Tigers have had base runners on every inning. Here's Ashton Inman. First time Grambling has been in the NCAA tournament since 2010. Third appearance overall. First time for the head coach, Davin Pierre. Little inside-out swing. That'll get through into left field. Fifth hit for the Tigers. Runners now at first and second.
And you were kind of talking about that momentum, that mojo for this team, and that's how they kind of build upon it, right? Is just putting together some good at-bats, being able to put the ball in play, see if you can start getting guys on and give yourself an opportunity to start cutting down the lead little by little.
A lot of baseball left.
Absolutely.
There's a weather delay in Atlanta at the SWAC tournament, in which Coach Pierre indicated that's when things kind of turn for us. Julian Murphy's 0 for 1. Had a lengthy conversation with his team. How they were playing up to that point was not satisfactory. A rocket shot into the grass that's foul. No threat of bad weather today for Coach Pierre's club, but certainly plenty of moments left to try to attempt a comeback as you take a look at the official Philpott forecast there. Well done. Back in our control room here in College Station. It's going to warm up too. We're not stuck in the 70s. It's probably already approaching 80, 81, 82. We'll be mid-80s by the time this ball game's over.
Well, anything you say about the weather, I don't doubt it.
Punch out recorded, the fourth strikeout for Tanner Jones. Davin Pierre joins us coming up next. Welcome back to NCAA Baseball Regionals, presented by Capital One on a Sunsplash Friday afternoon in the Bryan College Station Regional. Xavier Scruggs, Roy Philpott, head coach at Grambling. Davin Pierre joins us right now. Coach, the message to the team, you guys have had comebacks this year in the SWAC championship run. What are you telling your guys trailing at this point?
Yeah, we telling them if something good happens, keep playing. Something bad happens, keep playing. No matter what happens, keep playing. You know, we put ourselves in this position. Now we got to dig ourselves out of it.
Coach, talk to us a little bit about how you guys have been able to come from big situations in which you have dug yourselves out, right? You played in the tournament. You guys found yourself in a tough situation there. Talk to us a little about that adversity for your team and how you overcome it.
Well, we've been in a lot of situations, pretty much every situation you can be in when we got to our tournament. So, you know, this is no different. You know, we just got to find a way to get some zeros on the board and scratch some runs here and there. If we can do that, man, we can find our way back in this game. It's a really good ball club that we're playing against, but we just can't keep giving them big innings. You know, that'll put it away for us. So we just got to continue to keep scratching away, man. We got to score some runs, find a way to score some runs. We got to get a big zero right here.
What do you like most about Javier Martinez on the mound for you right now, what he brings to the table at this point?
Well, he's going to give us some momentum. He's a competitor. He pitches with his heart, and hopefully, man, he can get us a big zero, get us some motivation going on to the next inning.
Camarillo leads things off. We talked yesterday about the season that you've had there at Grambling State and what it will do for you in terms of recruiting and everything moving forward. To the people watching, tell us a little bit more about Grambling baseball, what this season has meant to this program overall.
Well, this has been a season for us to, kind of show the world how together we are. It's been a season for us to show our brand of baseball. And more importantly, it's been a season to give these seniors something to go out on, man. These guys have worked their butts off and done a lot for Grambling State University, not only on the field but in the classroom. So, we're excited about being here, but, we got to play better baseball in order for us to get ourselves back into this baseball game.
Coach, appreciate the time. Best
Thanks,
of luck
Coach.
rest of the way.
All right, no problem, man. Appreciate you guys.
Davin Pierre, officially year number 2, was the interim coach for a brief period dating back 3 seasons ago. Fly ball straightaway center, deepest part of the park. Tracking is Thomas. And Martavius records the first out. Camarillo flies out to straightaway center. Caden Sorrell. Now, one thing we'll have to get in it with Coach about perhaps tomorrow is the old tattoo dilemma, because part of his pregame speech to his Tigers in that SWAC championship, the slogan, we're Grambling, hell baby, goes back to the legendary coach Wilbert Ellis and even the great Eddie Robinson on the football side. And they've decided to get that mantra tattooed. A lot of the players already have it there. You see it on the wrist, celebrating and commemorating that 2024 SWAC championship run. Coach confirmed to us this week he is slated to get the tattoo. He has no idea where it's going to go. He has no other tattoos. So, it's a big topic of conversation in the Grambling dugout. And he said after this regional, that's when he'll come clear and make sure that he gets it done.
He also said some of the players took it a little overboard and maybe got a little extra on their tattoos. I'll be interested to see where he does his and if he does anything extra with it too.
Well, you're a young man that doesn't have a tattoo, so it would beg the question, if you were to get a tattoo, where does it go for somebody that doesn't have one?
That's a good question. I have no idea.
Lined out to left field, and how about Borum? Full extension late, and he makes the play for out number 2.
Well, this is the momentum Coach Pierre is talking about. You start to try to little plays here and there that can get you guys going energetically. Nice job, but just sacrificing the body, the concentration, seeing it all the way in the glove, and securing the catch right there for out number 2.
Tiger Borum, a great baseball name. Start again in left field, and here's Travis Chestnut. The tattoo on the wrist, I've got one on the forearm. That wasn't too bad, but one on the wrist right there near the hand, where the hand starts.
Does that hurt?
I'm thinking that would hurt.
Now, were you crying when you had yours on the forearm? I feel like that might be a tough area too. And you're a little emotional, so I didn't know.
I'm very emotional. No further questions. Respect my decision. There were no tears, but there was some squirming involved. But on the wrist, again, I think that would have been a different picture. I'm telling Coach Pierre, forearm, bicep maybe. This one bunted almost perfectly down the third baseline, and a great job by Buford to just let that ball roll into foul territory. (7-0) Texas A&M. Winner of this game gets the winner of Texas and Louisiana later tonight. What an interesting scene it will be. Olsen Field, Blue Bell Park here this evening with a lot of Longhorn fans in the house here in College Station. There's a couple already here. Scouting out the competition. And for those just automatically penciling in A&M and Texas tomorrow night in the winner's bracket, be very careful. Longhorns are the 3 seed here. Louisiana is the 2 seed. And Matt Dex's team If you haven't paid attention to what they bring to the table, another 40-win campaign, physical squad. They hit a lot of homers, aggressive on the base paths. And, oh, by the way, Matt Degg's a former Texas A&M assistant. And he's coming back, I would argue, with something to prove. Breaking ball, tapped to third. Buford fields and fires. And a 1-2-3 frame. 7-0 our score. 3 innings in the books in College Station. Back in College Station, don't forget ESPN is the home for the NCAA College Baseball Regionals for round-the-clock multi-game coverage. Scan that QR code, bottom left-hand corner of your screen right now. ESPN Plus subscribers can access expanded coverage with squeeze play. A little Chris Burke, Chris Budden, Matt Schick, Mike Rooney, the professor. That's where you need to be this time of year because they break it all down and take you site to site so that you see all of the big plays in real time.
Yes.
Runes enters this different level of broadcasting. Trying to think of the word I want to use here. Broadcasting excellence, baseball knowledge, all of the different things you can come up with. All those boxes are checked by one Mike Rooney.
Well, the ability to bounce to so many different games and still be able to have the information about every single game, every single team, every player, that's a specialty right there.
Is it a specialty or a sickness?
Either way, huh?
Train plowing through just outside the right field wall. 2 engines for those counting at home. This one ripped into left field and a base hit for the Tigers. All 4 innings, Ducks have been on the pond for Grambling State. And Trevor Hatton with a leadoff single.
Nice job of Hatton staying on this baseball right here. This is a slider left up in the zone. You hang it, I bang it. That's a good swing right there. Line drive to left.
Now we're getting somewhere. Now I'm starting to get the X-isms, if you will. Pitchers are athletes too. I heard it last week out in Las Vegas. You hang it, I'll bang it. Is that right?
I got to save some because this is a long weekend.
It's a long weekend. That's right. Save your best material till later. It's interesting. Our second game today over on ESPN2. Texas and Louisiana, those same 2 teams were at the Coral Gables Regional last year along with national seed Miami, and it was Texas that just kind of ran over everybody there. Here's Smiley, runs into one into left field. So every inning Grambling now with multiple base runners, nobody out. And Tanner Jones has given up 7 hits already. He's yet to yield a run.
Nice job. Smiley just staying on it. Talk about, you can't expect necessarily the big inning, but if you want the big inning, this is how it's going to happen, right? Putting together some good at-bats.
Vargas a base knock back in the second. Squares to bunt, takes out of the zone. Grambling 26-26 coming into this game. Jose got his baseball career started at Catawba Valley Community College. Senior from Charlotte. You see scores in the upper right-hand portion of your screen. Around the country as NCAA tournament play is underway. I made the mistake of consuming a pregame hot dog here at Olson. And in the booth, just had the good fortune of experiencing a massive brisket sandwich. 2-2. I lived in Texas for about 2.5 years, just north of here. A while back. I miss the brisket.
I mean, this thing is on a whole nother level. I know people at home can't see it, but
well, they're getting ready to see it.
This lady just came in here and brought 2 of the biggest sandwiches I ever seen.
Vargas sees a full count, and I mean, the brisket, fantastic.
It's
as big as my head. Full count, and this one chopped in fair territory. The only play will be at first. A productive out for Grambling's Jose Vargas. And Grahovac, a heads-up play to not try to make something more out of that sequence. So Grambling again with 2 runners in scoring position. I will tell you real quick, we mentioned the Coral Gables Regional last year. Marklight Stadium, where Miami plays. World famous for their milkshakes. And in those milkshakes, they invent a new milkshake for every team that comes there. For Texas last year, they invented a brisket milkshake. Okay?
No, they did.
I kid you not, the footage is out there on the internet. Meeting of the mound here. Max Wiener drifts out of the Texas A&M dugout for a moment. It was a brisket milkshake that they made us try on air. Me and Gabby Sanchez. We were told we weren't going to have to try it, sample it.
They lied to you?
They lied to us. And I consumed a vanilla milkshake that had brisket in it.
Like brisket chunks?
Chunks. The single most disgusting thing I've ever put in my mouth in my entire life. It was awful. You can search it up on X, formerly known as Twitter. Gabby tries it. I try it. Brisket and milkshakes simultaneously, no go. Does not mix.
Why would they even try that?
It was the single worst broadcasting experience of my entire life as well.
Goodness. Why'd you drink that?
Well, you have to. You can't back away from it on national television.
No, but you still have to do the game, and you just take a sip.
We come back from break, and they surprised us with it, so somebody snuck in through the door. I'm bringing us back there at Coral Gables. Here's Martavius Thomas. 0 for 1. 2 out of the zone here from Jones. And we don't even find out that it's happening until I'm announcing the score, and then all of a sudden somebody taps me and Gabby on the shoulder. You got 2 milkshakes, 2 big milkshakes, with pink brisket kind of sticking out of the top. You're thinking, okay, it's just at the top. You sample it through the straw, and again, I apologize at home. This is not going to make you feel good. The little pieces of brisket go up the straw. Changed my life, man.
Not in a positive way, huh?
Not like this brisket sandwich is about ready to do. 3 balls and a strike, so Jones has to find the strike zone for the Aggies. You got Smiley standing down at second. Full count. 4th time that Jones has reached a 3-2 count today. Hatton's over at third for Grambling State. Tigers trying to chip away at this 7-run deficit. And now Grambling with the bases loaded. A great take by Thomas. And that brings us back to the top of the order.
Well, if you're a Grambling supporter, you've got to love the at-bats you've seen so far in this 4th inning, right? Guys being able to go the other way with the baseball, but also being smart with their swing decisions. Now you got a bases loaded opportunity.
Jim Schlossnagel out of the bullpen, or rather the dugout, to make the call to the pen. Say about the new Aggies pitcher when we come back. So Tanner Jones goes 3 1/3, nearly 70 pitches tossed. The bases are loaded in a 7-0 lead The Fighting Texas Aggies back with Xavier Scruggs. I'm Roy Philpott. Brad Rudis, your new pitcher on the mound. First call to the bullpen for Jim Schlossnagle, the junior right-hander from Madisonville, Texas.
Yeah, and you'll see that fastball about 51% of the time. He'll mix in that slider. He's a fastball slider guy. Does have a changeup, but from that arm angle, you see a lot of the two-seam run, kind of the sinker going back towards the right-handed hitter away from the lefty. Look for him to be trying to get ground balls. That's what he does pretty well.
Overall, if you're Coach Schloss, do you take the start that Jones gave you? We mentioned he started the year banged up as a starter, then started coming out of the bullpen, knowing what's to come tomorrow night. He kind of works your way through those first 3 frames and got a 7-run lead.
Yeah, I think you wanted a little bit more length out of him, especially not expecting the Tigers to come away with 7 hits, more than your own Aggies that have 5. But at the same time, you got to be happy with the lead that you have for the time being.
Bases loaded. Just 1 out here in the top of the 4th. And a first pitch from Rudis is fouled back and out of play. Tiger Boram had that incredible play in left field. Home half of the 3rd. Hatton, Smiley, and Thomas on base for Grambling. 0-2. It's a great start to this season for Brad Rudis. Did not allow a single run in his first 9 appearances. You saw the ERA. It is sparkling coming in out of the bullpen today. Boram 1 for 2. First pitch of the game was smacked into right center field. And the punch out on the outside corner, right on the black for Rudis.
Yeah, and from this 3/4 arm angle, it's so tough to kind of see as it's a backup slider. Kind of stays right there on the corner. It's a tough pitch to pull the trigger as a hitter, but with 2 strikes, you got to at least try to foul it off or try to put that thing in play.
Grambling has had its opportunities today. Kyle Walker batting in the 2-hole again. Lines this one to straightaway center. Laviolette had him played perfectly. Side retired. Grambling leaves them loaded. And a 7-0 lead for the Aggies. Bottom of the 4th coming up here at the Bryan College Station Regional. Xavier Scruggs, Roy Philpott, sun splashing down. 7-0. Aggies with the advantage against Grambling, their 3rd meeting all time. And the first in 11 seasons today. Game 1 of this regional, Texas and Louisiana. Remind you, coming up at 6 Eastern, 5 Central on ESPN2. Our crew will be here all weekend long. What promises to be I think, one of the more exciting regionals this year across the country. I do like the way the NCAA selection committee put the 4 teams in this regional. All very close, either from the Lone Star State or from Louisiana, of course. But that's a nice touch where you have a facility that can fit in 8,000–9,000 fans.
Right.
Top of the Aggies order will lead things off against Javier Martinez. Rahovac, Laviolette, and Montgomery, 1, 2, and 3. Into left field. First hit of the postseason for the SEC Freshman of the Year.
And he's Freshman of the Year because he's got such a short, compact swing. Look how quick this is. A ball up in the zone. Barrel stays through it a long period of time. Rockets off his bat. Exit velocity 101 to left field right there.
Jace Laviolette. Smashed 28 home runs this year. tied for second most all-time in a single season for the Aggies. The record is 34, and that certainly could be in jeopardy. LSU came back to defeat Wofford. Golden Spikes Award semifinalists. 21 homers last year. That was a freshman home run record here. Hard to believe he's only a sophomore. He's been talked about in so many different ways since arriving on the scene. Next home run will be number 50 in his career. And you read that, and you double check the roster. Okay, he's just a sophomore. Between the two Martinez's that been on the bump, already 10 pickoff attempts by Grambling today. You had that one miscue on the toss back to second. Upstairs, 3-0. Aggies 19-11 in SEC play. Runner goes, and without a toss, another stolen base for the Aggies, and that'll be the second of this ball game for Grahovac in his third of the season.
Yeah, the aggressiveness just doesn't stop, right? Just a great jump, no throw down. With Grambling focused on getting the hitters, a lot of times you'll have these opportunities early in the game to advance by stolen base.
Laviolette aboard. First walk issued by Javier Martinez. Runners at first and second here in the bottom of the fourth.
And that's what I love about Laviolette's game, too. Even as it's evolved since the first season, done a nice job of understanding his plate discipline. He walked 48 times last year, walked 48 times this year, has struck out less this year as well, and provided more power. Slugging percentage up over 100 points from last year. So just understanding his swing that much more and what he's looking for.
Ripped into right field, and that did smack Grahovac as he tried to get to second. And the Aggies a bit unfortunate there. That'll be the first out of the inning. And now retreating back to second will be Grahovac, and it was Laviolette that that ball crammed off of.
Well, this is just a rocket, Roy. This is 110 off the bat. And you see, like, there's no time to react. He's trying to actually get out of the way, but the ball is sinking more towards him. And just another example of, you know, the tools of Braden Montgomery, right? How hard that ball comes off the bat.
Unusual way to record the first out. And here's Jackson Appel. Slicing towards left fielder Tiger Borum with the second out. Georgian Army deadlocked at 4. Top of the 5th inning in Athens. Here's Ted Burton. UConn on top of Duke 3-1. The Norman Regional. That one taking place at ECU. 1-0 the count. A 7-0 ball game. Aggies trying to tack on a few more runs. A lot of baseball left to be played here in our first game. Maybe the biggest surprise, Grambling with those 7 hits and unable to score a run up to this point. Burton had 2 hits in the last inning. Check that back in the second when they scored 7. Led the inning off with a double, scored a run, and then singled home 2 more. And that has been the only scoring thus far. Grahovac at second, Montgomery at first. 2 outs for Burton. High and tight. Both runners will get a head start here. And the payoff. Aggies actually spent 3 weeks at #1 in the country this year, skyrocketing up the D1 baseball polls. They're at the bottom of the top 10 all the way to #1, 3 straight weeks. Three-two again, hammered into left field. That's going to score 1 more. The throw comes back into second. And safe is Montgomery, but the new score of 8-0. A single and the RBI for Ted Burton. That's his 3rd of the game.
I mean, Burton's got his swing on point right now, even fouling some tough pitches back, but staying on this slider. See him with the small leg kick, staying on the backside, doesn't get off balance. That ball's rocketed to left field. Nice job of base running by Braden Montgomery. Make sure he's not coming off too much right there at second base and gets back.
Veteran umpiring crew will have a conversation near the mound. Greg Street, home plate umpire Nathan Huber over at first. Perry Costello at second, Tim Rosso at third. And they're going to take a look at the play at second. Ted Burton, meanwhile, a season high, 3 driven in. That ties his season high with that mark. In real time, it looked like it was closer than what I felt like the second base umpire indicated. That makes sense.
Well, here we get another look. It might have helped that Braden kind of slipped around second base to keep him even closer than what he was.
Great angle here. The issue there is it's unclear when the tag was made. It's clear the throw beat him there, but the attempted tag by Vargas, you tell me if this is indisputable video evidence to overturn the call.
Yeah, from this angle, it's tough to see when he actually tagged him, as you mentioned. But I don't think we have enough evidence to overturn it, at least from this angle. And this is a pretty good angle right here.
I think he tags him before he slides in safely, but I don't know that because the helmet covers up when the tag was applied.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing too, is where did he actually get tagged first? Because if he got tagged in the helmet, we can't see it at that point.
Borom out in left field has been sensational there today.
Yeah, he's been busy, huh?
Very busy. First pitch of the game, he sent a shot into right center field for a hit. play will stand. And I would agree with that based off what we saw on those two angles.
Yeah.
Just not enough to, beyond a shadow of a doubt, if you will, overturn the call on the field. And if the call on the field was out, you couldn't overturn that either.
Right. Really good effort out there from left field, though, from Borum. Did a nice job. At least recognize, okay, base runner looks like he's being a little over-aggressive. Let me at least try to pick behind him, get behind him.
So Montgomery and Burton at second and first. Here's Hayden's shot. Aggies have never lost to Grambling in 2 previous meetings. It's interesting, Grambling the only team in the Bryan College Station Regional that didn't do the 0-for-2 spot in their conference tournament. Louisiana kind of struggled in the Sun Belt, Texas in the Big 12, Aggies in Hoover in the SEC. Davin Pierre's team won the SWAC. Martinez a strike away from getting out of this mess. And he will get it there with a fist pump off the mound. Shot strikes out. Aggies add a run. Welcome back to NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Xavier Scruggs, Roy Philpott. 8-0. Fighting Texas Aggies, leading Grambling. Near the top of the 5th inning, Olsen Field, Bluebell Park, place to be this weekend. And we are just getting started. Texas and Louisiana coming up later tonight on ESPN2. David Pierce, Matt Deggs, I'm sure already scouting and trying to figure out what things will look like later this weekend here in Bryan College Station, the regional. Cam Buford sends that one foul on pitch number 1. SWAC tournament MVP walked his second plate appearance, struck out back in the first. Tigers with 7 hits today. They have yet to score a run thus far. Hasn't stopped my partner here in the booth from consuming a massive amount of brisket that was just sent our way. You eat much faster than I do, and I don't know how you do it because I'm a fast eater.
Well, you've got to do the play-by-play. I can actually eat more while you're talking.
Buford puts a charge into this one towards right center. Laviolette tracking. Gonna bring up Ashton Inman. Only thing I don't like is that Runes, Berkey, Chris Budden, they can't participate in our little brisket thing. How about that play? Rudis treating the opposition the way that he wants there. 2 quick outs. You won't see a better play on the mound today than that one from Brad Rudis.
Yeah, it was quick, right? Great reaction from Rudis. He's already kind of down in that position as an infielder once he releases the baseball. And just a great jab with the glove right there. Saw it go in, and it's a great job of fielding your position as a pitcher.
I need to hear it one time.
No, because he stayed on the mound there. If he moved a little bit more off the mound, then it'd be more of a athletic move. But
the hand-eye coordination right there.
Yeah, that was more hand-eye coordination and reaction time.
Qualifies as some level of athleticism.
Yeah, just a tad.
As a hitter, what is it like seeing a guy at that arm slot with what you've seen in the first, let's say, 3.5 innings so far? It's vastly different, right?
Yeah, it's different, especially as a right-handed hitter, right? Because he actually will fall toward you it almost looked like that fastball is coming in and running right at you a lot of times. And he's got a good sinking fastball too, so it's got good action down once it gets to you. So it's really tough to barrel up. And then he can do that with the slider, which starts middle and goes into the left-handed batter's box.
Murphy could not check his swing. 1-2. Another great baseball name, Brad Rudis, especially for a pitcher, right?
Yeah.
He wants to be rude out there. He was to Buford moments ago. 2-2.
It's a good spot right there.
That was close. Payoff pitch, low and away, and a good take by Ashton Inman. And with 2 outs, the inning continues for Grambling. Aggies have yet to record a 1-2-3 frame today. Credit the Tigers and their approach. That was Murphy, excuse me, and now Trevor Hatton. That one ripped just foul in front of third base. Every batter for the Tigers has reached today. That's the good news if you're a fan of Grambling. Bad news is you had to scratch across a run. 0-2 hole for Smiley. He'll stay alive.
Yeah, Roy, the problem is they just 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Just can't find a way to press a guy across once they do get some guys on. But that still gives you some confidence going into the latter part of this game. Hey, we've been able to get on base. We've been able to get some hits. So hopefully they can keep that type of momentum and that energy throughout the rest of the game.
Popped up shallow right field. Who wants it? Chestnut retires the side. Grambling now 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position, trailing 8-0. Now the Men's College World Series on the horizon, June 14th. Work left to do and a ton of it here in the Bryan College Station Regional. Nightcap later tonight, 6 Eastern. Louisiana, the 2 seed. Texas, the 3 seed. Awaiting winner of this game, our first game between the Aggies and Grambling, 8-0. Fighting Texas Aggies out in front. Ali Camarillo will lead things off. Xavier Scruggs, Roy Philpott, brisket in hand, feeling good. Meat was so good you didn't need the sauce, but the sauce was saucy.
It had that kick. I love a good barbecue sauce, too.
If you're watching this broadcast, you love a good barbecue sauce, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't care where you are, who you are, which school you're a fan of here. Whether it's the Aggies, the Horns, Ragin' Cajuns, the Tigers. You just are. You're a fan of barbecue. You're a fan probably of brisket.
Just food in general, huh?
Well, I mean, you know, it's into May. Memorial Day this past Monday. Line to straightaway center. Thomas retreating. And he snow cones it for the first out.
Thomas got a great jump on that ball. A lot of times those balls right at you, a little bit to your right or left. Tough to pick up whether or not they're going to take off like that. Did a nice job of seeing it off the bat. You can see he's smiling. He knows that was a tough one to get to. 105 off the bat, so he was all over it.
That was blistered. Caden Sorrell, freshman outfielder. Got the start in left field today. Mentioned comes from a family of baseball players. Grandfathers Billy and Tom both played in the majors. We mentioned his dad was a late round draft pick in 1990. That one right off the backside. And Sorrell reaches after being hit by the pitch.
Yeah, he's going to take his time on that one because that one definitely did not feel good.
Travis Chestnut. Played for the Temple College Leopards. Led the state of Texas in stolen bases as a freshman in high school back in the day. One away in the fifth, an 8-0 Aggie lead. Coach Schloss did say something interesting in our conversations this week regards to this team as a runner goes. And no throw was made, a stolen base for Sorrell, his 7th of the season, 8 attempts. But Schloss said, I trust this team. And I've heard coaches say that in a number of different ways, but he said when you trust a team, it's different in how you coach them with all the experience that they have. And some new faces, like Braden Montgomery we've talked about from Stanford coming in, and a handful of others, but also guys that have grown up here, so to speak. And his number one concern was the discipline at the plate, not chasing out of the zone. Our chase rates, he said, in the last part of the season were nowhere close to what they should have been. And he also said the energy was a little bit lacking, maybe outside of that Arkansas series where they ruled the Hogs. 12th man comes in and walks it off. But he said, I trust them. And I think in his heart of hearts, he felt like today and the start of this regional, I mean, he felt good about his chances, but I think there's a deeper connection that he really likes that maybe has yet to be fully unveiled. Runner goes again. Swung on and missed. The throw to third, not in time. 8 stolen bases now for the freshman Sorrell, and his 2nd in this game.
Well, I think to your point, even a team like Texas A&M, who's had a lot of success this season, is you go through your ups and downs and you learn a lot about yourself as players, a lot about yourself as a collective unit, and just hoping that this is the time that you're playing your best baseball, right? You always want to be playing your best baseball at the end of the season. And if you trust your guys enough to do so and to get back to what they did earlier on in the season, then you know you're capable of making an extremely deep run.
Infield comes in for the 2-2 offering, and now a full count. I mean, the 44 wins, I mean, it's one of the best seasons we've seen here, since the late 1990s. Undefeated in non-conference play, that's incredible. Number 1 for those 3 straight weeks that we talked about. And a 3-2 on the outside corner strikes him out. A big call there as Chestnut trots back to the dugout.
And if you're Martinez, you like this, being able to get that one on the corner. Looked like pitch had a little cut the very last second. It's a good spotted pitch right there.
Smiley did a nice job in framing that one up. Back to the top of the order. Grahovac has reached twice, struck out in the second. He was nibbling away on that outside corner and finally got the strike call. Aggies with 7 in the second inning, 1 more in the 4th. Base hit would give them 1 more now in the 5th. Nothing in 2. Had you ever been to College Station before this trip?
I had never been here, and honestly, it's been quite amazing seeing the facilities here. I got a chance to go over to Kyle Field yesterday. I mean, absolutely unreal. Would you say 102,000 fit in that stadium? And I love how every facility is close, right? Football, baseball, basketball, track and field, everything is within walking distance.
And if you notice too, there's construction right behind Kyle Field where the world headquarters of the football program are located. A lot of cranes, a lot of scaffolding around as everybody continues in this arms race. Big strikeout for Martinez. That retires the side halfway home here in Bryan College Station. Eight 0 our score. Texas A&M leading Grambling. Xavier Scruggs, Roy Philpott. Beautiful afternoon for postseason baseball and a new pitcher to tell you about. The freshman right-hander Weston Moss.
Yeah, freshman's got a little juice on his fastball. Can get up to 95. Sits normally around 93. Done a nice job so far this season. Still learning himself as a pitcher, right? Using that fastball, changeup, curveball mix. I'm sorry, fastball, changeup, slider mix. He will mix in the curveball rarely, but most of the time using that changeup as a secondary pitch. We'll turn it over and try to get some swing and miss.
What's the new pitch I read about the other day that is being called a, is it a slinker?
A splinker.
A splinker?
Split sinker. That's what the guys are throwing nowadays. You have Paul Skeens. That's the pitch that he learned to kind of help him with more secondary stuff at the big league level. Just more of a pitch that kind of can go away from lefties but still have some good velocity on it.
Well, you mentioned the big league level. We saw Paul Skeens lead LSU to a national championship last year around this time. Was unhittable and already got the call up to the bigs almost a month ago with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and everybody thought that that was going to happen. And then it did, and he's been pretty tough to hit in the majors so far, which, I don't know, in my opinion, that's not surprising. You played, so you have a better idea than I do, but his stuff is filthy.
Well, I think what helped him is we know major league hitters can hit a high velocity fastball, but being able to command it where you want it on the inner half, on the outer half, mix in the slider, the splinker, and be able to do it in any time in the count, I think that's what's allowed him that maturity of the next level, be able to have that success at the major league level.
Smiley strikes out. Good appearance for Weston Moss initially out of the bullpen.
This is a two-seam fastball that's just running away from the left-handed hitter. You can see it, it's up in the zone, tough to catch up to, but also moving towards the right-handed batter's box. It's got some good late life on it.
When Skeens or anybody else throws the splinker and like they flash the pitch up on the screen, do they call it splinker? Like, is that already happening? I haven't seen it yet.
No, I think they're still calling it a split.
Okay.
But it might be coming soon.
I have to think about saying that. Splinker. It doesn't just flow like slider, fastball, curve, changeup.
Makes me think of your sprinklers.
Yes, thank you. Now that's what I will call that pitch moving forward, the sprinkler.
Yeah, that's why I put it in your dome.
Thank you. Outside, it's 2-1. There is a new second baseman for the Aggies, Jack Bell, freshman out of Corpus Christi, Ray High School. Vargas, the hitter for Grambling. 2-2. Jose has been impressive. Defense today and up to bat, but this time quickly retired by Moss.
Moss coming in, throwing strikes, getting some swing and miss, getting some chase out of the zone. That's that changeup, turns it over, and looks like a fastball coming out of hand. And it's hard as a hitter because you're committing too early, and then you can't slow the swing down. Another strikeout for Moss.
6 so far today for Aggie pitching. Martavius Thomas, the hitter. As a skipper, if you're Coach Schloss, do you start thinking ahead towards tomorrow with an 8-run advantage, kind of halfway home? When do you turn the page a little bit, knowing that, hey, this game is not over, and it's not? He'd be the first to tell you. When can you afford mentally maybe to go there?
Yeah, I would say about that 5th inning, about this point right now too, top of the 6th, you start thinking about, okay, how do I set my pitching up? How do I want to make sure my bullpen is right? Being smart. And I think a great indicator too is bringing in a new second baseman in Bell, being able to get some different guys into the game, right? That lets you know he's starting to think about, okay, playing for that next one.
Ryan Prager set to get the start at some point, you would think, probably in game 2. Able to navigate your way so far against the SWAC champions. That one too far inside. Inning continues. Thomas is aboard.
The luxury for Schlossnagle too is the bullpen has been really good, right? Guys coming out of the bullpen, they've given him some consistency. So knowing that even if he doesn't get the starts that he's looking for, he's got depth in those guys coming from the bullpen in left field.
Pitching really has been a difference maker this year for the Aggies. Max Wiener coming in from the Seattle Mariners organization. I mean, he has changed a lot of things when you look at the team ERA, you look at the strikeout to walk ratio. Both have improved drastically. And the overall numbers, A&M pitchers a year ago walked 320 batters. This year, just 178. That's a lot of numbers to throw at you, but the end result is that man's difference and what he's brought to the table as a difference maker, I should say, from the bigs.
Yeah, well,
has been nothing short of sensational.
That was the thing too, is when you've seen guys have the success at the big league level under certain improvements, he can now bring that to the collegiate level.
That toss gets away, and racing in to second will be Thomas.
And I think that is invaluable, right? The knowledge that he brings from specifically the Seattle Mariner organization. And you think about their tough young staff that they have right now. You think about Logan Gilbert, George Kirby.
Chopped over to first, and let's see if Moss can get there in time. He can. Grambling strands a runner. Bottom of the 6th coming up. It is all Aggies. 8-0 our score. Well, Ted Burden, the hard-hitting first baseman for the Aggies. The Michigan transfer has been nearly perfect today up to bat.
Yeah, just look at every swing is on balance. Whether it be driving it to right, driving it to left, doing a good job of staying on the baseball, driving his guys in as well. The balance at the plate for Burton is something that really stands out. 3 for 3 day with 3 RBIs. Big day so far, and it's not even over.
Yeah, 2 hits in that 7-run second inning for the fighting Texas Aggies. Mason Martinez was hit hard getting the start. 8-0. That score tells the story in and of itself. Xavier Scruggs, Roy Philpott, Olsen Field at Bluebell Park, the place to be this weekend. 2, 3, and 4 will lead things off for the Aggies here. Laviolette smacks that one foul. Laviolette has walked twice. Drove in a run with a ground out to second. Aggies known for their power, especially in the top half of the order. They have yet to hit a home run today. A&M 5-3 in games this season without a long ball, and averaging just over 3.5 runs in those games. Only 1 extra base hit so far today, so those 8 runs without all the pop be the most they've scored this season. Not hitting one out of the ballpark. Prior best was 6. A lot of numbers in baseball. A lot of numbers.
I know, and as a player, you're almost trying to not look at the numbers as much. But they're there every single day, and they change every single day. You just try to take something to learn from them.
The heat maps, spray charts, launch angle, exit velo. I mean, 10 years ago, were we talking about any of that?
Well, now we have new statistics in bat speed, right? So there's, excuse me, new statistics come in every day that guys are being able to figure out, whether it be with their swing, defensively. Think about catch probability, all those things.
Catch probability. My head is exploding. That ball sent straight up into the air. Fair territory for the moment. Now into foul territory, almost on top of first base. And Inman had to go a long ways to make that grab. Catch probability. At what point does that help you? Ball goes into the air and all of a sudden you realize I have a 77% chance of catching this. What do I do with that information in the 0.8 seconds of discovering that number?
It just tells you so much about the cameras that we have nowadays, right? They're able to take every single piece of information, sprint speed.
What was your, if you know, single most impressive number in anything that you did in your baseball career? Like, is that committed to memory somewhere?
No, it's not. I wish. Maybe about this time in college, hitting 370, 380 maybe.
Yeah, but that's just batting average. I need
Yeah.
something much more specific.
No, well, at that time, we weren't getting that specific.
It was a long time ago. Braden Montgomery, what an incredible job he's done. So humble just coming into this program. He wanted to play in the SEC. Loved his whole experience at Stanford. Never had an issue there. And he was the one that torched the Aggies, ironically, a year ago in postseason play. It was at 7 hits in 3 games. Another knock here for Montgomery, who figures to be a top 10 draft pick coming up in just a couple of weeks.
Absolutely. I got to look at where Kyle McDaniel has him for ESPN, but I mean, we're seeing some of the things that make him great today. Hitting rockets all over the field, and had struggled coming into the regional a little bit, right? Trying to find himself with his swing, mentally trying to have the right approach. And now he's hitting those low line drives today. And we talked about that first at bat that he had, or that first hit he had going to left field, as we see Kylie McDaniel's top 10 picks here for that 2024 mock draft. He's in that 6th slot, but obviously he, depending on the team, he can go higher than that. But going back to that first hit he had, that to me opened up more of being able to get to off speed and pitches on the inner half. When you're seeing it deep enough away to where you can take it the other way, okay, now I can react to a pitch in, and we've seen the last 2 that he's driven to right.
Kylie had him going 6 overall to Kansas City. Royals are having a great year based off of preseason expectations, at least. That would be a really nice addition to that ball club. But he could sneak up higher a couple of spots.
Absolutely.
I mean, the potential is there, and who knows what these next couple of weeks could do to his draft stock. I mean, 3 hits today after that really awkward play. Remember in the first inning, the 4-6-3. Jackson Appel, the leading hitter for Texas A&M coming into the postseason. Former All-Ivy League catcher at Penn. 2-2.
We do have to give credit to Javier Martinez, who's come into this game and giving Grambling a sense of energy, right? A sense of an urgency, as he's up to 65 pitches, but 3 2/3 innings, doing a nice job of limiting the hits and only giving up 1 run to a team that scores 7 in the second inning.
Yeah, great point. 4 strikeouts for Javier. You just wonder what it would have been like if he could have started this game and given you this kind of effort. The way Grambling was raking at the plate to start. 2 hits in 2 of the first 3 innings today. This one golfed by Appel. Sky high, battling that sunshine. And Kyle Walker reaches back for the second out. I mean, scouts are still looking at Montgomery. I would think if he catches fire, they would put more stock into that than anything else that's happened on a stage like this. And again, that would be the 3rd time potentially he reaches the College World Series if the Aggies make it that far.
Absolutely. That was something I was talking to him a little bit about before the game too, is just the experience that he's had and how he knows that there's ups and downs in baseball after being at Stanford for the first couple of years and learning a lot about himself. And actually, there was a sense of maturity I got just hearing him talk about the failures are the times when you learn the most about yourself. And I thought that was cool to hear him say that, because as a young player, it's hard to fail. This game, you're failing 24/7, and you feel like, we were talking about numbers earlier, you're always feeling like your numbers are changing and you want them at a specific spot, but this game is not easy.
Failure is an option, right?
Yeah.
You have no choice.
But that's where you develop, right, as a young player. And he even mentioned, professional baseball being the next step. That's where he knows he's going to go through those times, those tough times where not everything's going to be as easy as it might have been in college.
As Schloss yesterday said, we want him to go back and get that degree from Stanford, when he can, because he has all those hours there. It really was an intriguing conversation, and thinking about his experience out west, and now here in College Station. And rave reviews really across the board. I don't know that you hear that a lot for guys that enter the portal and
right.
change directions, if you will, with their career. Burton has not missed much today. Runner goes on the 3-1. 4th time that Martinez has thrown a full count. Three years in Ann Arbor. The maize and blue of Michigan for Ted Burton. Runner with a head start. Burton, another charge. And the catch made by Thomas in a full sprint. Almost made that look easy. A nice play again for the Grambling outfield. Heart of the order coming up for the Tigers after this. Welcome back to NCAA Baseball Regionals, presented by Capital One. A beautiful Saturday. Check that Friday afternoon in College Station. 8-0. Texas A&M, the #3 national seed, leading Grambling. SWAC champions. Aggies have been on point with runners in scoring position. Grambling has struggled after leaving at least 2 base runners in 4 of the first 5 innings. Weston Moss has come in. I was mentioning to you, X, just a few minutes ago, out of the A&M bullpen, he has looked like he has had the most electric stuff that we've seen so far for the Texas A&M Aggies.
Yeah, he's got really good stuff, and it's an arm angle that's coming right at you from the right-handed standpoint. But he does a good job with extension. And that fastball sitting 94, so it's got some good late life to it as well. And then that slider can be devastating with 2 strikes.
Well, the fortunes start to shift rather quickly for the loser of this first game. All of a sudden tomorrow you're faced with an elimination contest against the loser of tonight's UT-ULL matchup, Louisiana and Texas. Kyle Walker 1 for 3. He struck out just twice in his last 20 games coming into today. Breaking ball floats across, 2-2. I mean, that was 77. It felt like it took an eternity across home plate with what we've seen previously. And down goes Walker. And the old announcer's jinx comes into play. Just mentioned he'd only struck out twice in his last 20 games.
Well, he's got the ability to go curveball, then go slider, which has more of that downward action, that horizontal and vertical break to it. It's just nasty because it starts right there in the zone and dives down so far away from the right-handed hitter. It's a good pitch.
Moss with a curve, 0-1 to Cam Buford. It's the one guy in the lineup that you look at for Grambling. Incredible power. Great athleticism over at the hot corner. Don't want to let him beat you. Florida and Nebraska tied at 1. A lot of intrigue surrounding Kevin O'Sullivan's team making the tournament 1 game above 500. Jack Caglione. I mean, we did want to see him in postseason play, I believe. Buford stays alive. He's one of your favorite players, right?
Yeah, definitely one of my favorites as far as, you know, a specimen first and foremost, right? You see this guy and you automatically think professional body, but when you think about somebody that can hit homers and throw 100 miles an hour, can't help but think how special he'll be at the next level as well.
Buford flies out just short of first base. And Ted Burton able to record the second out. I mean, he had 9 straight games earlier this year, Caglione, with a home run. Schloss out of the dugout. Weston Moss, 7 whiffs in an inning and 2/3. Tell you about the new A&M pitcher after this. New pitcher for the Aggies, Eldridge Armstrong III, the junior right-hander, Simi Valley, California, making just his 4th appearance all season, X.
Yeah, Armstrong actually played for the 2023 Team USA Collegiate National Team. Like you mentioned, just 4th appearance, but got a good fastball, 94, 95, uses the slider and the cutter as well. Obviously not a lot of innings this year, but excited to see what he can bring to the table, because if you talk about an embarrassment of riches, for Schlossnagle being able to bring arms out 94, 95, and a guy that hasn't really thrown that much, good to get him in this game, though.
8-0 Texas A&M, top of the 7th. Already 2 outs for Grambling. Xavier Scruggs, Roy Philpott. First upset so far today officially in. Evansville toppled the 16 seed East Carolina in the Greenville Regional. That game just went final. Hot shot into right center and just past Bell at second. So Ashton Inman aboard with 2 away.
Not letting the pitch go by, right? Seeing that first pitch fastball down in the zone. Nice job of golfing it to center, hitting it right where it came from.
All right, I'm going to ask you the question that I've asked many analysts before you that I've worked with.
Okay.
What is it about the left-handed hitter that allows them to go down and get the ball low in the zone or out of the zone even easier than the right-handed hitter?
It's just something about just a natural rotation. I don't know what it is. It's a natural rotation and barrel drop that is so smooth. And I honestly can't tell you why righties can't do it just as well.
But it's a thing, right? It's legit.
A thing.
1-2 to Murphy. I mean, it's almost like the left-handed jump shot. It looks fluid, smooth in basketball. Left-handed hitter just goes down and gets it, golfs it out.
I always thought it could naturally be with the way you're just consciously thinking about you're going to first base after you're done hitting, right? So a lot of times a lefty, just the way they finish is like they're going to be going toward first as a hitter. If you're thinking about going towards first or naturally doing that, your pitch on the inner half of the plate down and in is not going to be as good of a swing or as smooth and easy as a lefty.
That actually makes sense. That's the first answer to that question I've heard where I'm like, okay, now we're on to something. You're going towards first. The whole swaying of the body and the turn of the swing and the hips leads you in that direction. I think I just confused myself. Runner goes, and the pitch low and away. Grambling again with 2 aboard. Tigers have stranded 10 so far today. 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Inman at second. Murphy at first for Trevor Hatton. Well, it was Hatton that had the incredible at-bat in the SWAC championship. His single down the third baseline drove in the tying and winning runs in the 9th inning. The SWAC championship game. And you want to talk about a wild play. Just saying how that went for Davin Pierre's club doesn't do it justice. As he drove in Kyle Walker, the winning run. Fans on their feet, a ball and 2 strikes. Stretch time. Olsen Field at Bluebell Park, and some 7,034 fans in attendance to witness this very first game of the Bryan College Station Regional, and they love the start so far. Well, we just mentioned moments ago, Evansville topples East Carolina, the number 16 seed overall. 4-1 the final in Greenville, North Carolina earlier. Tennessee, the number 1 overall seed. Tony Vitello's team in position perhaps to win its first ever national championship. SEC dominates the top 3. There's Carolina, as in North Carolina at number 4, followed by Arkansas, Clemson, Georgia Bulldogs, and Florida State. SEC, ACC heavy through those top 10. And future SEC member Oklahoma coming in at number 9. Xavier Scruggs, Roy Philpott, a new pitcher to talk about for Grambling State. Jeremiah Newman, the junior right-hander on the ball.
Yeah, he's going to be around 89 miles an hour with that fastball. And it uses that most of the time, 86% of the time. He'll mix in a slider 11% of the time, but we've talked about it, right? Just coming in, throwing strikes. Walks have been a little bit of an issue for him this season, so it's going to be important to command the strike zone early and often when this inning gets going.
Newman completing his warm-up tosses. 6, 7, and 8 due up first for the Aggies. Home half of the 7th. The winner of this game gets the winner of our second matchup. 6 Eastern, 5 Central later today. Back here, Olsen Field at Bluebell Park between Texas and Louisiana. Longhorns are the 3 seed here in the Bryan College Station Regional. Raging Cajuns the 2 seed. Hayden Schott, Newport Beach, California, played baseball all over the country, including Culver Military Academy in Indiana. At one point, he led the state with a .561 batting average. Transferred from Columbia after 2 years at Cypress College. And in 2024, his resume not that uncommon. Multiple stops, multiple schools. And Schott strikes out. Good start for Newman coming out of the Grambling bullpen. Think about if the portal existed the way that it does now when you were playing at UNLV. And I'm not sure what your freshman year was like or how things started.
Right.
But if they weren't great, I'm sure there would have been a handful of teams all across America that would have wanted and would have loved to have signed Xavier Scruggs the second go-around. It's the guy that ends up playing in the bigs.
Yeah, I just think it, obviously a great opportunity for some of these kids that maybe don't start off with the right opportunity, or you feel like at a high school you might have wanted to go to a different college, but maybe you didn't put up the numbers at a high school, and then you get that second go around. So I think it's a great opportunity for guys. And obviously you see some of these graduates that get another opportunity to continue to play at a different school as well.
Now the interesting thing is we get past this season, then the COVID years start to disappear. Things start to get back to normal in terms of, you have guys that have been playing college sports for 9 seasons like what we see in football.
Right.
Slapped into right field. Camarillo aboard with 1 away. Second hit of the game for Ali.
Well, Camarillo just taking this ball on the outer half, driving it to right, staying compact with the swing. It's a nice swing out of my boy from Chula Vista.
Is that close to where you grew up in San Diego?
It is. It's a little more down south. I grew up in North County. He's a little bit more south, but us San Diego boys stick together.
There's a vibe with San Diego. And as you framed it, San Diego boys, right? I mean,
absolutely.
To me, it seems like you guys have I don't want to say a better personality, but kind of than most. Like there's a chill element to it. Like you're from San Diego. Oh, he's cool. Runner goes, throw to second. It was a strike, but not in time. 9 stolen bags on the season, and a perfect 9 for 9. Camarillo.
And we talked about Texas A&M's aggressiveness early on, right? Just being able to get a good jump. Stay on the bag there. Now you find another runner in scoring position.
And Walker was thinking about telling the dugout at Grambling they want to challenge that. And everybody pauses for a moment. Walker with quick word, the Aggie base runner. 8 runs on 10 hits for A&M. Massive cut by Sorrell. Hitting .284, reached twice. If you're a fan of Texas A&M, this is just about the exact kind of start you wanted to see. Maybe with the lone exception, no home runs yet. A day where the wind has not been a big factor at Olsen. Pitching has lived on the edge at times, but still between a handful of relievers, got a shutout going. And Sorrell retired on the strikeout. That's 2 in the frame for Newman.
I think if you're Coach Jim Schlossnagle, you would just like to see tacking on more runs, right? Obviously a big second inning with 7 runs, but you just want to see your guys continue to have those good at-bats in the later innings, facing some of the relievers, some of these guys coming out of the bullpen.
First AB for the freshman Jack Bell, now at second base. .286 hitter this year. Ray High School down in the booming metropolis of Corpus Christi. We drove to Corpus Christi one time from Dallas. Pretty long drive.
How far is that?
I mean, I'm thinking it was at least 6, maybe 7 hours.
Can I one-up you?
Yes.
Springfield, Missouri to Corpus Christi, 16 hours.
Oh, mama.
Double-A baseball.
On a bus.
On a bus.
Did you at least have an iPod back in the day?
That's what I probably had. Was the
I don't know that we were listening to music on our cell phones then.
There's people listening that don't even know what an iPod is.
An iPod Shuffle. You remember the little tiny one?
Yeah, where you don't even know what song is coming.
Right. It was a big deal when those came out. You can play your MP3s. All legally downloaded, of course.
Definitely legal.
2-2. Ball get away from Smiley. And that's just enough time. Camarillo to get down to third. I mean, if you got an iPod back in the mid-2000s, that was a big-time gift, a big-time purchase.
100%. That was. Not everybody was getting iPods back in the day.
It was like $500. Maybe you get 200 songs on there. I don't know.
We've come a long way.
I have 40,000 songs on my iPhone now. And the punch out retires the side as Newman strikes out the side. Camarillo stranded at third, 8-0 our score. And don't forget, ESPN is the home for the NCAA College Baseball Regionals for around-the-clock multi-game coverage. Scan that QR code right now, the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. ESPN Plus subscribers can access that expanded coverage with Squeeze Play. I guarantee you Mike Rooney had an iPod Nano. He probably still has one, and it's probably worth like $4,000. It is like the very first one. That's how wise he is beyond his years. DeMarcus Smiley leads things off. 7, 8, and 9 for Grambling, running out of baseball here in the top of the 8th inning. DeMarcus 2 for 3. He is platooned at the catcher spot. this season for head coach Davin Pierre. That one ripped fair, and a great play over at first. Ted Burton, he has done it all today for the Aggies.
Give the first baseman some credit, being able to get his body down first base line. This ball is hit pretty hard. Reacts quickly, lays out, but then also gets up, controls himself in a good feed over to his pitcher Armstrong.
Michigan transfer, getting the job done at the dish and defensively. Jose Vargas, the shortstop, back up. Aggies in position today to await the winner of tonight's Texas-Louisiana game. Horns in the house. Burnt orange has arrived. This capacity crowd certainly loves to hear that. We talked to David Pierce yesterday. You just asked him the question. A&M, UT, you know, the potential for you guys to match up maybe a couple of times this weekend. He was like, listen, nobody here likes us. We know that. And it's almost as if that, you know, with Texas going into the SEC, that expectation of the rivalry going to an even different level. You know, it finally resumes in football later this fall. It's existed, of course, in baseball in the regular season and basketball at times. A small taste if those two teams meet tomorrow or Sunday or even Monday of what's to come with one of the great rivalries in all of sport. Vargas aboard with a free pass.
Yeah, the standing room only areas would be packed.
My question is how many Texas fans will be able to somehow get a ticket, show up in the burnt orange if they face Texas A&M here? Because, I mean, you talk about families being divided. Even in our own control room here, to a certain extent that exists. The production crew.
That's right.
All the personalities shall remain nameless.
No love lost.
Thomas, powerful swing into foul territory. But, I mean, that's, look, it's what it makes everything so special and so electric when you have two programs, two fan bases that just don't like each other. I mean, they don't like each other. Hit sharply. The hole is short. Lead runner with a force out in the turn. Bit laced with a toss for Chestnut. Check that bell. And the Aggies still getting the job done defensively on a tough play. Camarillo fading away.
Yeah, Camarillo going to his right, being able to range deep in that hole, and still with the jump throw to second base and a perfect feed over there. Check it right to the chest. Bell. It's a great defensive play right there. Sound defense.
Second out of the inning. Back to the top of the order. Tiger Boron.
If you're Grambling here, the big thing is you're just trying to build some momentum going into the next game, right? You want to continue to take some good swings, good at bats, be aggressive.
Runner goes. Speaking of, pitch in the dirt.
Because whatever you can do to kind of focus on, okay, now we're going inning by inning, right? Just trying to give ourselves some type of sense of energy to keep playing our game. Earlier on in this game, you go back to that second inning specifically, and a lot of walks, right? You're not playing your game. And then even offensively, you're deep down in a hole. Now it's like, okay, what can we do to string together some good at-bats that can lead us into that next game?
Thomas steals second. Knock into right field. Pierre's going to wave around the base runner initially, and then putting on the brakes quickly is Thomas. And the shutout remains complete for the time being, but Grambling with runners at the corners. And now 2 away.
This is a slider on the inner half. Great swing right there by Borum, but really not trying to test the arm of Braden Montgomery right there at that point. Down 8-0. Still kind of station to station baseball.
And not a bad throw whatsoever from right field. The future major leaguer. Max Weiner out of the dugout, the A&M pitching coach. Speaking to the big leagues, arriving here in College Station from the Seattle Mariners organization. If I think about Seattle baseball, I do think about pitching.
Yeah.
Like in the last 15 years. Like you don't go into Seattle, and I'm sure it was similar when you played, and expect to score a lot of runs.
No, I mean, we were talking about some of the starters, and I even forgot to mention Bryce Miller, who pitched here at A&M.
Right.
And the start that he's had to his major league career as well. So some of these guys and the system they've built as far as pitching there for the Mariners is something special. And for Weiner to have the opportunity to come here now and give some of that same information, it's amazing for A&M.
Pitching wins championships. It just does. You take a look at the teams with the lowest ERA in D1 this year. Aggies under 4. Approaching that rarefied air with Arkansas and Tennessee, also SEC clubs. Belted to left field, but right at Sorrell. Grambling strands a pair. The shutout remains intact. Aggies coming up to bat. Bottom of the 8th inning, Texas A&M would love to tack on another insurance run or 2. It was a 7-run second inning that has been the difference so far today in our first game, the Bryan College Station Regional. Xavier Scruggs, Roy Philpott. Ted Burton 3 for 4. He's driven in 3, the Michigan transfer. Tanner Jones kind of gave you what you wanted to start, worked his way in and out of a couple of jams. Grambling just 1 base hit in 9 tries now with runners in scoring position. That has been one of several developing stories. And Braden Montgomery, who mentioned he did not start the month of May the way that he wanted to. Future first-round draft pick, upcoming in the MLB draft later this summer. 3 hits today, 3 for 4. And he is due to bat third here in the 8th inning. Last thought on the food that we've gotten today, X? The churro train just made a stop here at the broadcast booth. I mean, tell everybody what you told me during the break.
What, that I'm going to come out of College Station 15 pounds heavier?
Well, yes.
I mean, no, I'm thinking about here in Texas, some of these SEC schools, as far as their food, just at the baseball stadium, you're not getting that at a lot of other places. Like, it is special when it comes to the food here.
I mean, we got to show you as Grahovac leads things off. Newman on the mound for Grambling. I mean, the churro train, it's the filling that's inside these that really creates the biggest difference, right? It's like a cinnamon roll type, cinnamon sugary.
Like maybe a caramel type.
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
It's really good.
Whatever it is.
We wish you were here.
It's hit.
And they gave us each 2. You know, 1 is plenty. And I'm already plowing through that one.
Speak for yourself. If they want to keep bringing more, I'm not opposed.
I mean,
maybe a little ice cream to dip it with. I don't know. Just.
You're asking for too much now, but it doesn't sound bad.
I'm going too far, right?
I mean, it's Bluebell Park, so you know the ice cream is here.
Oh, man. Give me some Bluebell cookies and cream. Even the vanilla, though. Bluebells. Oh. Yeah, I can't be staying here.
Grahovac steps away for a moment. I think they're just checking to make sure nothing weird happened on those last swing or two is here at Bluebell Park. Gavin appears to be fine.
If you're Bluebell Park, you just got to have ice cream on deck, right? Like, you can never run out of ice cream.
Ever. I mean, you almost feel guilty calling a baseball game in this kind of atmosphere, and they're going to feed you on air. Brisket, churros, fly ball to center. Thomas underneath. One away.
Ice cream is like my weakness too. That's one of those things that at any point in the day, if it's hot enough at 9, 10 a.m.
You're in for the breakfast ice cream.
I'm down for the ice cream, especially some Bluebell.
Davenpierre out of the Grambling dugout. Slow stroll out to the mound to talk with his reliever, Jeremiah Newman. Now don't forget the NCAA Regionals coverage for all 16 sites continues tomorrow. ESPN Plus, the ESPN app. For more information, visit ncaa.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. Chase Laviolette steps back in. Officially 0 for 2. He's walked twice and driven in a run. Rip foul. Well, the pull power of Laviolette on display. It's one of the reasons Kyle Walker plays so deep at second, expecting number 17 in white to pull it with a little bit of zest behind it, if you will.
Yeah, he doesn't get cheated, and that's what I've noticed kind of as a theme for this Texas A&M team, and watching their at-bats closely is, you know, they get a pitch, they commit to it, they're taking their A hack. They're not taking half swings. They're balanced, looking to drive the ball, whether that be opposite field or pull side. They do a good job of putting themselves in a good position to hit physically.
Nothing in 2. Braden Montgomery in the on-deck circle. And a breaking ball is served to center. Thomas 2 steps back, 3 ahead to record the second out. Thomas is entertaining to watch out there. He's fast. You mentioned the initial angle he takes to a lot of these fly balls on point. And the wind perhaps wreaking havoc at times as well, starting to whip towards right field and gusting at around 20 miles an hour on occasion.
Yeah, you can tell he has a good time out there playing center field. Like a quarterback out there, you can see the wind. But he's done a nice job of ranging from left center to right center. He's got, like you mentioned, a lot of speed.
Here's Montgomery. 3, 4, and 5 will be due up first for Grambling, led by the SWAC tournament MVP Cam Buford in the 9th. Buford, Inman, and Julian Murphy. Coach Pierre said he believes Buford will have a chance make it to the bigs one day. Fly ball lifted to left. And Boram retires the side. Tigers down to their final 3 outs. Cam Buford leads things off when we come back. Top of the 9th inning, Grambling down to its final 3 outs, 8-0. The number 3 national seed fighting Texas Aggies out in front. Xavier Scruggs, Roy Philpott, we're sawing horns off and feeling good about life if you are a fan of A&M here at Olsen Field at Bluebell Park. So many great traditions, a part of Texas A&M, the university, the athletic department, football. Buzz Williams would tell you in basketball, they're starting to emerge. And in baseball, Jim Schlossnagle wants to build, quote unquote, a monster. And a chance to go back to Omaha the 2nd time in 3 years this season. Figure that man's going to get enough ABs, the Men's College World Series. He's going to bring home a national title at some point in time, and probably not the too far distant future. One and two. Kind of a textbook, workman-like potential victory today for A&M. Nothing flashy, no home runs hit, a 7-run 2nd inning, and that was enough.
Yeah, a nice job of the relief corps coming in as well, being able to hold things together after Tanner Jones leaves this game. I thought a very nice job of guys coming in, attacking the zone, not playing around, going right after hitters. A lot of times when you have a lead, 8 runs to nothing, whatever it may be, your focus and priority is to make sure you're hitting that strike zone with consistency, and that's what their guys have done.
Armstrong strikes out Buford.
See that Armstrong slider down and away, just diving. Solid location, but even better nastiness on that pitch.
Nothing in 1. Ashton Inman. Couple of knocks today. Oh and 2. Junior first baseman awaiting the pitch. Haven't seen a ton of Armstrong this year. He's been on point today, and back-to-back strikeouts.
Well, Armstrong doing a nice job of getting the 2 strikes and getting some swing and miss. It's a guy that went 5-1 last year at San Diego State, a 3.24 ERA, and struck out 46 batters in 41 2/3 innings, so he's got some good stuff.
Grambling down to its final out. Murphy's 0 for 2. $7,000 Aggies on their feet here at Olsen. Back to Armstrong. He'll knock it down. The barehanded toss. 8-0 the final. The 11th shutout of the season for Texas A&M. The most in Division I baseball, and a great start, more importantly, in postseason play for the fighting Texas Aggies.
Well, we talked about setting the tone the right way, and that's exactly how you do it, right? You shut out the opposing team. You do a nice job of throwing the baseball, not giving up freebies, and guys swinging the bats early. Second inning, jumping on them with that 7-run inning. We saw some really good at-bats, really disciplined approach at the plate, and the Texas Aggies, Texas A&M Aggies do exactly what was expected in this first game against Grambling.
8-0 shutout victory. And now awaiting the winner of our game later tonight, Game 2 in the Bryan College Station Regional between Texas and Louisiana. And we take a look at our Capital One rewarding performance. Ted Burton, the Michigan transfer, 3 for 4, played sensationally over at first base, but really got the hit parade started in that 7-run second.
Yeah, did a nice job of being able to just take advantage of guys on base, right? Understanding that he could bring some guys in and be a threat in the middle of this order, and took advantage of some pitches hanging in the middle. Nice game for him today.
Aggies advance winners bracket, awaiting the winner of UT and Louisiana. That game coming up 6 Eastern over on ESPN 2, 5 Central. And about 90 minutes from now. Outstanding day to be a fan of Texas A&M. Good start in postseason play. The road to Omaha has started. Game 2 coming up in about 90 minutes between the Horns and the Ragin' Cajuns. We'll see you then.